Most people spend their lives trying to avoid pain, rejection, and failure. But sometimes, the only way to become stronger is to walk directly into danger. In a kingdom ruled by dragon riders, weakness is a death sentence, and fear controls almost everyone. One young woman is forced into a brutal war college where survival itself is an achievement. And what begins as fear slowly transforms into courage, purpose, and unstoppable strength. This is the story of someone who discovers that limitations are often mental before they are physical. Violet was never supposed to become a dragon rider. She trained her entire life to become a quiet scholar surrounded by books, history, and knowledge. Her body is smaller and physically weaker than the other cadets entering Basgiath War College. Many people assume she will die within days because this academy destroys even the strongest students. But her mother, a ruthless military general, orders her into the deadly Riders Quadrant anyway. Suddenly, Violet realizes that intelligence alone may not be enough to keep her alive. The entrance test is simple but terrifying. Cross a thin parapet bridge without falling to your death. Cadets shove, threaten, and sabotage each other because only the strong are respected in this brutal world. Violet understands immediately that kindness is often viewed as weakness here. One mistake could end her life instantly, but instead of giving up, she starts using the one weapon nobody expects: her mind. She realizes that strategy can sometimes defeat raw power. While stronger students rely on brute force, Violet studies patterns, habits, and weaknesses. She pays attention to details others ignore. Every night becomes a lesson in adaptation and survival. She learns how fear controls people and how confidence changes outcomes. Violet realizes that survival is not always about being the strongest person in the room. Sometimes it is about becoming the smartest, calmest, and most resilient person under pressure. The Riders Quadrant is designed to eliminate weakness quickly. Students die during sparring matches, training accidents, and dragon exercises. Nobody is guaranteed safety, friendship, or mercy. Violet is constantly targeted because others see her as fragile and easy to defeat. But every insult slowly strengthens her determination. Instead of seeing herself as weak, she begins seeing herself as adaptable and mentally dangerous. Xaden is powerful, feared, and impossible to ignore. His father once led a rebellion against the kingdom, making him dangerous in the eyes of many leaders. Violet knows he has every reason to hate her because her mother helped crush that rebellion years ago. Every interaction between them feels filled with tension and danger. Yet beneath his cold exterior, Violet senses intelligence, pain, and hidden loyalty. And she quickly realizes that enemies are not always what they seem. Many people at the academy expect Violet to fail. Some openly mock her, while others secretly hope she dies before graduation. Loneliness starts creeping into her mind, making her question whether she belongs there at all. Self-doubt becomes just as dangerous as physical enemies. But difficult environments often reveal hidden strength people never knew they had. The more pressure Violet faces, the more determined she becomes to prove everyone wrong. Violet understands she cannot outmuscle her opponents, so instead she trains relentlessly to improve her speed, timing, and precision. She practices with daggers because they fit her fighting style better than heavy weapons. Slowly, her confidence begins growing through discipline and repetition. This becomes one of the most important lessons in the story. Real growth often comes from consistent effort, not sudden talent. This moment changes everything. Cadets cannot control the dragons because dragons answer to nobody. The dragons decide who is worthy to bond with them. Many students die during this terrifying process because dragons value courage, honesty, and strength. Violet steps forward, knowing one wrong move could end her life instantly. Yet despite her fear, she refuses to run away. Against all odds, Violet bonds not with one dragon, but two. One is ancient, powerful, and respected by all others. The second is rare, dangerous, and deeply mysterious. Nobody in history has bonded dragons like this before. Suddenly, the weak girl everyone mocked becomes one of the most important riders in the kingdom. And overnight, everything changes for Violet. The moment Violet takes flight, something inside her transforms completely. Fear still exists, but it no longer controls her decisions. She realizes that courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is acting despite fear and uncertainty. That lesson begins reshaping every part of her identity. For the first time in her life, Violet starts believing she may actually belong here. Xaden begins training Violet in ways nobody else would. He pushes her harder than anyone because he sees potential others ignore. Slowly, trust begins replacing suspicion between them. Violet starts understanding that people are more complicated than the stories told about them. Labels like hero and villain rarely tell the full truth. And sometimes, the people society fears most are the ones willing to sacrifice the most. As Violet learns more about the kingdom, she uncovers dangerous secrets hidden from the public. The leadership has concealed truths about the war, the dragons, and the enemy beyond the borders. Suddenly, the world she trusted starts collapsing around her. She realizes that blindly following authority can become incredibly dangerous. Knowledge becomes both power and risk at the same time. The more she learns, the harder it becomes to ignore the truth. Every challenge at Basgiath pushes Violet beyond her limits. Her body aches constantly, and failure seems only one mistake away. Fear never disappears completely, but she learns how to move forward anyway. Growth rarely happens inside comfort zones. The pressure forces her to evolve faster than she ever imagined possible. Step by step, she becomes stronger emotionally, mentally, and physically. Their relationship deepens as they reveal painful truths to each other. Violet sees the burden Xaden carries every single day. Xaden sees Violet's determination beneath her fear and insecurity. They stop pretending to be invincible. And through honesty, they begin creating a bond stronger than politics, fear, or war. Their connection becomes one of the emotional centers of the story. Violet slowly becomes someone others look toward for guidance, not because she is the strongest fighter, but because she refuses to quit when things become difficult. Leadership is not about intimidation or status. It is about resilience, intelligence, and the ability to inspire others under pressure. Violet begins embodying all three qualities naturally. Her growth inspires people who once doubted her completely. The same students who underestimated Violet now respect and fear her abilities. Her transformation shocks everyone around her. But the biggest change is internal, not external. She no longer seeks validation from people who doubted her from the beginning. She finally believes in herself, and that confidence becomes one of her greatest strengths moving forward. The kingdom has been hiding the truth about the enemy for years. The danger beyond the borders is far worse than anyone imagined possible. Violet and her friends realize they have been manipulated by powerful leaders protecting secrets. Suddenly, survival is no longer about passing school. It is about protecting innocent lives and preventing complete destruction. Everything Violet believed about her world starts changing rapidly. Violet discovers her unique signet ability tied to raw lightning energy. It is powerful, unpredictable, and devastating during battle. But mastering power requires emotional control and self-belief. Instead of hiding from her potential, she learns to embrace it fully. Her confidence finally aligns with her abilities. And once that happens, she becomes nearly unstoppable. As secrets unravel, relationships begin cracking under pressure. Violet struggles with anger, confusion, heartbreak, and disappointment. She realizes that leadership often means making painful choices nobody else wants to make. Not everyone can be trusted completely, but shutting people out entirely can become just as dangerous. Emotional resilience becomes just as important as physical strength. The writers unite despite overwhelming fear because they understand what is truly at stake. Violet inspires others simply by refusing to surrender under pressure. Her journey proves that ordinary people can rise during extraordinary circumstances. Fear still exists inside everyone, but purpose becomes stronger than fear. And purpose has the power to transform entire groups of people. The final conflict pushes everyone beyond their limits emotionally and physically. Friendships are tested, loyalties shift, and lives are lost forever. Violet learns that strength always comes with responsibility and sacrifice. Winning requires discipline, trust, and courage under impossible pressure. No meaningful transformation happens without pain, and every victory comes with a cost. At the beginning of this journey, Violet doubted herself constantly. She believed her fragile body defined her future and limited her potential. But through hardship, pain, and relentless pressure, she discovered resilience nobody could take away from her. Her greatest strength was never physical power alone. It was intelligence, emotional endurance, and the refusal to quit. That mindset changed her destiny completely. Life will place all of us on dangerous bridges eventually. People may doubt you, underestimate you, or expect you to fail before you even begin. But resilience is built one difficult step at a time. The strongest people are not born fearless. They become strong because they continue moving forward despite fear, pain, and uncertainty. If you enjoyed this video, remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more powerful book summaries and life-changing stories that can transform the way you see yourself and your future.